Oh, look who they're interrogating now. You, the one who walked into the room and made it shift. The one whose presence rearranged the energy before you even opened your mouth. And what's the first thing they do? They start digging. Not into your work, not into your skills, not into the blood, sweat, and sleepless nights that built you from the ground up. No. They're looking for the cheat code, the shortcut, the golden ticket. They're whispering behind cupped hands, scrolling through your lineage like detectives on a cold case. Are you related to someone? Do you have connections? Is your success borrowed? Did someone hand you this? And when they find nothing, when the search comes up empty, when there's no famous last name, no executive parent, no industry insider pulling strings, that's when the real panic sets in. Because now they have to face the truth. If you're serious about building the life that matches this mindset, the Grim Grit Life Complete Planners Bundle was made exactly for you. 6 premium guides, 82 pages, fully interactive on any device. Sleep, training, meals, recipes, travel, and wedding, all in one single download. This is not just a planner. This is the infrastructure for the person you are becoming. Grab the bundle now and save over 50% compared to buying separately. Link is in the description. You did this. Alone. Raw. Self-made. And that terrifies them more than any nepotism ever could. Let's talk about what just happened, shall we? You entered a space. Any space. A job. A room. A circle. A stage. And you didn't just participate. You dominated. Not loud. Not obnoxious. But undeniable. Your presence carried weight that couldn't be explained by a degree or a referral or a family tree. It was something else. Something earned. Something forged in the furnace of rejection, failure, and silent grind. And the moment they felt it, the moment your energy knocked theirs off balance, they couldn't accept it. Because in their world, power only comes from one place: inheritance, connections, bloodlines, a pre-existing network that vouches for you before you even speak. So when you show up with none of that, when you arrive with nothing but your own backbone and your own brilliance, their brains short-circuit. They need an explanation. They need a reason that fits their narrative. They need you to be a product of someone else's success. Because if you're not, if you built this from nothing, then what does that say about them? Here's the thing they don't want you to know. The question, are you related to anyone, isn't curiosity. It's fear disguised as investigation. It's insecurity wearing a detective's hat. They're not asking because they're impressed. They're asking because they're desperate to find a reason to dismiss you. A reason to downplay your rise. A reason to tell themselves, oh, of course they made it. They had help. They had backing. They had a head start. Because the alternative, the idea that you climbed from the bottom with no ladder, no safety net, no family empire, is too threatening to their fragile egos. It means they've been making excuses. It means they've been hiding behind "I don't have the right connections" while you were out there creating your own. It means their comfort zone just got obliterated by someone who refused to wait for permission, for referrals, for doors to open. You kicked them down, and now they're scrambling to rebuild the illusion that success only belongs to the chosen few. So they dig. Oh, they dig deep. They Google your last name like archaeologists hunting for treasure. They scan your social media for glimpses of wealth, privilege, hidden advantages. They listen to your stories for clues, for names they recognize, for traces of inherited glory. And when they find none, when the investigation yields nothing but hard work, self-education, late nights, and sheer will, they don't celebrate you. They don't applaud. They get bitter. They get suspicious. They start inventing narratives. There's gotta be something. Maybe they're hiding it. Maybe they're lying. Maybe they got lucky. Lucky. as if luck is what carried you through the years of doubt, as if luck is what kept you going when every door slammed in your face, as if luck is what taught you the skills they never bothered to learn because they were too busy waiting for someone to hand them the crown. No, darling, luck didn't build you, you built you. And that's the story they'll never believe because it destroys the one they've been telling themselves for years. Let's get one thing brutally clear. They wanted you to be related to someone because it would have made them feel better. It would have given them permission to stay mediocre. It would have let them off the hook. See, they only made it because they knew someone. I could do that too if I had those connections. It's the ultimate cope, the ultimate excuse, the safety blanket they wrap around their underachievement. But you didn't give them that comfort. You showed up self-made, self-taught, self-sufficient, and suddenly their entire belief system is on fire. Because if you can do it, if someone with no family name, no industry ties, no inherited wealth can rise to this level, then what's stopping them? The answer is simple: nothing. Nothing but their own refusal to work as hard as you did. Nothing but their addiction to shortcuts. Nothing but their fear of facing the mirror and admitting they've been wasting time. So instead of looking inward, they look for proof that you cheated the system. They need you to be connected. They need you to be privileged. Because if you're not, it means they are the only thing standing between themselves and success. And here's where it gets beautiful. You don't owe them the answer they're fishing for. You don't owe them a family tree. You don't owe them a list of mentors or sponsors or secret benefactors. When they ask, "Are you related to anyone?" you can smile. You can laugh. You can look them dead in the eye and say, "No." Just that. No explanation. No apology. No justification. Because that single word is a grenade. It detonates their entire theory. It shatters their fragile narrative. It forces them to confront the one reality they've been running from. You are the exception that proves the rule is a lie. The system they obey, the one that says you need connections to win, just got torched by someone who had none. And now they're standing in the ashes trying to figure out how you did it. Spoiler alert, they never will. Because they're looking for an external answer to an internal question. They're searching for a secret, when the truth is right in front of them. You outworked them. You outlasted them. You refused to accept the limitations they placed on themselves. That's it. That's the formula. And it's the one thing they'll never replicate. Now let's talk about the weight of being self-made in a world that respects legacy. You know what it's like, don't you? You know the sting of walking into rooms where everyone else had a warm introduction, a family friend, a pre-arranged coffee meeting that opened doors you didn't even know existed. You know the exhaustion of building from zero while watching others start at 50 because their last name carried currency. You know the loneliness of grinding in silence while they posted their easy wins, their handed opportunities, their "I'm so blessed" captions that forgot to mention the trust fund or the executive parent or the investor who just happened to be a family connection. You watched them stumble into success while you crawled through broken glass to earn a single chance. And it made you bitter for a while, didn't it? It made you question if the game was rigged. It made you wonder if hard work even mattered in a world where birth orders seemed to matter more. But then something shifted. You stopped comparing. You stopped measuring your chapter 1 against their chapter 10. You realized their head start wasn't your setback. It was your fuel. Because here's the truth they don't teach you in those motivational circles. Being self-made doesn't just mean you built something. It means you built yourself. Every skill you have, you hunted down. Every connection you made, you earned through value, not blood. Every door that opened, you kicked down or picked the lock. You didn't inherit confidence. You forged it in the fires of rejection. You didn't inherit resilience. You developed it by surviving what should have broken you. You didn't inherit your network. You built it brick by brick, conversation by conversation, favor by favor, trust by trust. And that makes you dangerous, because people who inherit power can lose it. It can be taken away. It can crumble when the family name loses value or the connections dry up. But you can't lose what you built with your own hands. You can't be stripped of skills you taught yourself. You can't have your resilience revoked. You are the foundation. You are the empire. And that's a level of security and strength that no last name can ever provide. So when they ask if you're related to someone, what they're really asking is, how do I make sense of you? Because you don't fit their model. You're the glitch in the matrix, the anomaly, the outlier that breaks their algorithm. In their world, success follows a pattern. It's predictable, it's traceable, it's inherited, networked, or purchased. But you showed up with none of that and still conquered. You rewrote the code. You hacked the system they thought was unhackable. And now they're studying you like scientists, examining a species that shouldn't exist. They want to dissect your journey, find the moment you got lucky, identify the hidden advantage you must be concealing. But the more they look, the more frustrated they become. Because the only advantage you had was the refusal to quit. The only secret weapon you wielded was consistency. The only cheat code you used was discipline when motivation ran dry. And those aren't things they can replicate by association. Those are forged in solitude, earned in obscurity, built in the dark when no one's watching and no one's cheering. Let's be honest. They wanted to find a famous relative because it would have made you less intimidating. It would have shrunk you down to size. Oh, they're just riding coattails. They're just benefiting from a name. They're not special. But you denied them that comfort. You showed up special without permission, without a co-signer, without a family brand to lean on. And that makes you untouchable, because now there's no one to blame but themselves. There's no external factor they can point to and say, that's why I'm not there. You removed every excuse from the table. You eliminated every justification for their stagnation. You became living proof that the only thing standing between them and their goals is their own unwillingness to do what you did. And that is unforgivable in their eyes, because now they have to either admit their weakness or pretend you don't exist. And since ignoring you is impossible, because your presence is too loud, too undeniable, too magnetic, they're left with one option: resentment. But here's where the story gets even better. While they were busy investigating your bloodline, you were busy building your empire. While they were scrolling through your past looking for clues, you were creating a future they couldn't even imagine. While they were whispering theories about how you got here, you were already 3 steps ahead, planning the next move, securing the next win, expanding into territories they didn't even know existed. Because that's what self-made people do. They don't pause to defend their origin story. They don't waste energy proving their worth to people who are committed to misunderstanding them. They move, they build, they execute, and by the time the doubters finish their investigation and come up empty-handed, you're already unreachable, already untouchable, already on a level they'll spend the next decade trying to explain away. And the beauty of it all? You didn't need their belief. You didn't need their approval. You didn't need their validation or their recognition. You needed your own. And that's the only endorsement that ever mattered. Let's talk about the psychology behind their obsession with your origin story. It's not about you at all. It's about them. It's about protecting their fragile sense of self. See, when someone rises without the advantages they convinced themselves were necessary, it shatters their worldview. It breaks the story they told themselves about why they haven't risen yet. They've built entire identities around the excuse. I don't have connections. I wasn't born into wealth. I don't have access. And those excuses became their shields, their comfort zones, their reasons to stay small. But then you walk in, and you didn't have those things either. And yet you're standing where they wish they were. You've achieved what they dream about. You've built what they keep planning to build someday, and that creates a cognitive dissonance so painful, so destabilizing, that their brain has to resolve it somehow. So it searches for the loophole, the hidden advantage, the secret ingredient. They must be related to someone. They must have had help. They must have gotten lucky. Because if they can find that external factor, they can keep their excuses intact. They can keep their shields up. They can avoid the terrifying truth that they are the only obstacle in their own path. And this is why they'll never stop asking. They'll keep digging. They'll keep whispering. They'll keep searching for the proof that you didn't really earn this. Because accepting that you did would require them to change. It would require them to take responsibility. It would require them to stop blaming the system, the economy, the gatekeepers, the lack of connections, and start blaming the one face they see in the mirror every morning. And that's a confrontation most people will avoid for their entire lives. So instead, they turn you into a mystery, an unsolved case, a puzzle that doesn't make sense. And while they're stuck trying to solve you, you're out here solving problems, closing deals, building networks from scratch, creating opportunities where none existed, and proving over and over again that the only permission you ever needed was your own. That's the difference between people who make excuses and people who make history. One group spends their energy investigating how others did it. The other group spends their energy doing it. Now let's address the elephant in the room, the isolation. Because being self-made in a world of inherited privilege is lonely, isn't it? You can't relate to the stories they tell at networking events. The casual mentions of my father's company or my family's connections, or I just reached out to my uncle who works in the industry. You sit there nodding, smiling, knowing your story doesn't have those sentences. Your story starts with cold emails that went unanswered, with applications that were rejected, with doors that stayed locked, with rooms you weren't invited into, with opportunities you had to create because no one was creating them for you. And when you finally break through, when you finally arrive, they still don't get it. They still don't understand the weight you carried, the battles you fought, the nights you spent doubting yourself, questioning if this was even possible, wondering if the game was rigged against people like you. And when they ask, "Are you related to anyone?" it's a reminder that they'll never truly understand the journey because they never had to take it. But here's the twist. That isolation, that loneliness, that's your superpower. Because you learned to rely on yourself in ways they never will. You developed a self-trust that can't be shaken because it was forged in the moments when no one else believed in you. You built a resilience that can't be borrowed or inherited because it came from surviving what should have destroyed you. You cultivated a hunger that can't be taught because it was born from wanting something so badly that you were willing to build it with your bare hands. And that makes you unstoppable. Because people who had everything handed to them don't know what to do when things fall apart. They panic, they crumble, they look for someone to save them. But you've been saving yourself since day one. You've been building, failing, rebuilding, adapting, evolving without a safety net, without a backup plan, without a family empire to fall back on. So when challenges come, and they will, you don't flinch, you don't freeze, you do what you've always done, you figure it out. And that's a level of power they'll never access. Let's get darker for a moment. Because the truth is, they don't just want to know if you're related to someone famous. They want you to be. They're hoping for it, praying for it. Because if you are, it means they can dismiss you. It means they can undermine everything you've built. It means they can whisper behind your back, "Oh, they're only here because of who they know." And that whisper, that's their lifeline. That's their way of coping with the fact that you outplayed them without the advantages they respect. So when you tell them no, when you deny them that satisfaction, when you refuse to give them the excuse they desperately need, you're not just answering a question. You're delivering a verdict. You're forcing them to face the reality that you are better, not because of luck, not because of lineage, but because you worked harder, smarter, longer. You sacrificed more. You believed when they doubted. You persisted when they quit. And now they have to live with that. They have to wake up every day knowing that someone with less started ahead of them in the race and still lost. That someone with no connections built a network stronger than theirs. That someone with no famous name made a name that echoes louder. And that knowledge, that truth, it will haunt them forever. Because here's what they'll never admit out loud. They're not asking if you're related to someone famous out of genuine curiosity. They're asking because they need you to be. They need their worldview to stay intact. They need the rules they've been playing by to still matter. Because if you can win without those rules, it means the game they've been playing is obsolete. It means the strategies they've been using are outdated. It means the excuses they've been hiding behind are exposed as the lies they always were. And that's a level of discomfort, a level of cognitive dissonance that most people can't handle. So they'd rather believe you're lying. They'd rather believe you're hiding your connections. They'd rather invent a conspiracy theory about your success than accept the simple, brutal truth. You earned it, every single bit of it, with no shortcuts, no handouts, no famous last name opening doors. Just you, your vision, and your refusal to accept their limitations as your reality. And that makes you legendary. Let's talk about what happens next. Because this isn't just about them anymore. This is about you. About how you move forward knowing that no matter what you achieve, there will always be people trying to poke holes in your story, trying to find the real reason you succeeded, trying to diminish your accomplishments by attributing them to factors outside your control. And here's the hard truth. You can't stop them. You can't control their narrative. You can't force them to see your journey the way you lived it. But you can do something far more powerful. You can keep building. You can keep rising. You can keep shattering ceilings and rewriting rules and proving that self-made isn't just a possibility, it's a movement. Because every time you level up without their permission, you're creating a blueprint. You're showing someone else who's starting from zero that it's possible. You're becoming the proof that they were searching for when they felt invisible, overlooked, underestimated. And that legacy, that's worth more than any famous last name could ever provide. So when they ask, are you related to anyone? Smile. Smile like you know something they don't, because you do. You know that their question is born from fear. You know that their investigation is rooted in insecurity. You know that their need to find a reason outside of you is proof that you've already won. And then, after you smile, after you let that moment hang in the air, you give them the answer that will echo in their minds long after you've left the room. No, I'm not related to anyone famous. I'm the first. I'm the one they'll be asking about in 20 years when someone else shows up and they start digging into their bloodline. I'm the name that starts the legacy. I'm the beginning of the dynasty. I'm the origin story. And then you walk away. Because you don't need to explain. You don't need to justify. You don't need to prove anything to people who were rooting for you to fail. Your life, your work, your rise, that's all the proof you'll ever need.